Sometimes the very things that make you brilliant are the exact same things that'll get you in a whole lot of trouble.
I mean, just think about it, right? You're good at your job, probably really good. You work hard, you deliver amazing results, and you've clearly got talent. So why does it sometimes feel like you're just hitting a wall? Like you're being held back for no reason? It doesn't make any sense, but believe me, there's a powerful reason this happens all the time.
Here's the hard truth. In any kind of hierarchy, pure logic often takes a backseat to human emotion. When you shine, you can, without even meaning to, cast a pretty big shadow on the people above you. And nobody in a position of power enjoys standing in a shadow. This can set off a dangerous chain reaction that you might never see coming.
To really get this, we have to pop the hood and look at the psychological engine that's driving this whole dynamic. And it pretty much all comes down to one thing: the fragile ego of the person in charge.
Now look, this isn't necessarily about your boss being a bad person. It's about a fundamental human need to feel significant. People in power need to feel like they are the most important, the most capable person in the room. So when you shine too brightly, it can feel less like a win for the team and more like a personal attack on their status.
And make no mistake, that feeling of being threatened has very real consequences for you. Suddenly, your brilliant ideas are getting shot down. You're being left out of important meetings. Your boss might even start to subtly sabotage your work just to reassert their dominance. It's like they're in a defensive crouch, and you're the one in the line of fire.
This brings us to a huge fork in the road. You can focus on being the smartest person in the room, which is all about logical competence. Or you can focus on being the most effective person in the room, which is all about emotional intelligence. The first path assumes the best ideas always win. The second path understands that in the real world, feelings often trump facts. It's about playing the whole game, not just the pieces on the board.
So, if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? How do you navigate a minefield like this?
Well, this is where you have to shift your whole mindset. You have to move from just being a performer to being a true strategist. It's not just about doing great work anymore. It's about how you frame that work. And this leads us to the one rule you absolutely must master if you want to climb the ladder.
There it is, the first law of power. I know, it sounds a little cynical, maybe even ruthless, but it is a timeless truth about human nature. Your job isn't to be the most brilliant person in the room. Your job is to make your boss feel like they are.
Now hold on. This doesn't mean you have to become some spineless yes man. It's not about hiding your talents away. It's about mastering a far more subtle and frankly a much more powerful art: strategic humility.
Let's be really clear about this. This is not about playing dumb. It's actually the opposite. It's about being smart enough to know how and when to use your talents with subtlety. You're still making power moves. You're just doing it with the volume turned way down.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, first, you downplay your abilities a bit. Instead of saying, "I'm an expert," you might say, "I've been fortunate to get some good experience in this area." Second, you give them the credit. When a project is a huge success, you publicly thank your boss for their invaluable guidance. And third, this is the grandmaster move, you learn to plant your ideas in your boss's mind so they think they came up with them. Your idea gets done, they get the credit, but you get the influence.
And the goal here isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about building a real foundation of power for yourself. When you make your boss look good, they stop seeing you as a rival and start seeing you as an ally. And that's what earns their trust, strengthens your position, and clears a much safer path for your own advancement, all without making a single enemy.
Okay, let's just step back for a second and look at the bigger picture, because I get it, this can all feel a bit, well, uncomfortable. A lot of people hear this stuff, and their first reaction is, wait a second, isn't that just being deceptive? Isn't this straight up manipulation? And you know what? That is a totally fair question to ask. But ultimately, this isn't about lying. It's about strategy. It's about having the emotional intelligence to know when to push forward and when to hold back. It's about recognizing that the presentation of your work is often just as important as the work itself. And this isn't a life sentence of hiding in the shadows. It's a career-long strategy that evolves. Early on, you play defense. You're building trust, making your boss look good. In the middle of your career, you can start to strategically reveal more of your talents, using the trust you've built as a shield. And by the time you reach the top, you can unleash your full abilities, because you finally mastered the art of shining without blinding everyone around you. So in the end, this whole law forces us to ask a really tough question about the nature of power.
Is this a masterful strategy for navigating the messy, complicated world of human ambition, or is it just cynical manipulation that sacrifices authenticity for advancement? There's really no easy answer, but how you choose to play the game, well, that's going to define your entire path to the top.